every leak is hinting at dragons, but what if it's not? What if they were putting fake leaks? Blizzard was leaking fake leaks, so people think that's what it is, and then everyone is completely wrong. They're showing trailer. This is... Oh. Oh, Classic! They're launching Classic again, guys. But yeah, let's be quiet and listen to the video.
For the Alliance! For Azeroth!
Nice.
Hi everyone, I'm John Haidt, General Manager for Warcraft, and with me today are my friends Ian Hazzikostas, who is the Game Director for World of Warcraft, and Holly Longdale, who leads up the production team for WoW Classic. I really appreciate you tuning in. I know we're really excited to be able to give you updates on what's happening in World of Warcraft. But first, I want to thank our community for all the feedback you've given us this year, and especially our community council. You've helped shape and influence the updates that we've done recently and what you're going to see in the upcoming year.
I mean, really, for Shadowlands in particular, the story of the last 9 months or so of this expansion is all about the community, and it's shaped by what we've been hearing from them.
Okay, bro,
and us
relax.
As a team, that we just collectively needed to do a better job of making sure the community felt heard, and so that led us to the changes we made in 9.1.5, but also really re-examining some of the assumptions and foundations of World of Warcraft about things like character investment and mains versus alts, or how catch-up should work, or the appropriate role of friction in our systems. And I think 9.1.5 represented a step in the direction of letting players have more freedom to play World of Warcraft the way they want to play it. And we really built our Eternity's End content update from the ground up around those principles.
What are some of the things that the community said that influenced your decisions for Eternity's End?
Things like the method and pacing of acquisition of the Covenant Legendary item, tons of tuning, and I think every step of the way, we were listening to make sure that we were carrying forward those lessons learned in the course of 9.1.5 into Eternity's End and beyond.
So WoW Classic came about because of the community.
Yeah, they continue to help guide and support us as Classic evolves.
World of Warcraft has always been about
and they talked
the world
so much about
and the
Classic
players that inhabit it. And we are in a lot of ways curators and caretakers of that journey and of that experience. And so once this Classic community formed and grew, we had to listen to them.
It's this tide of listening to the community.
We had to listen to them. It's like they're not happy about it.
And where we really saw a sea change in this idea is with our Season of Mastery realm, which is a Season of Fresh Start Classic. And initially we were talking about it like it was going to be like a fresh start. Let's try this experiment in a season. It'll be about a year long. And then when the community found out about it, we started seeing this upswell.
Yeah, the team just took that idea and ran with it and turned, what started out as a small community project into this Soul of Iron system that became a centerpiece of Season of Mastery. And
talk about hardcore now, nice.
Opt-in hardcore mode that we've seen communities built around. Lots of, thrilling victory and painful defeat.
5 hours. I made it 5 hours.
Yeah. And it continues, like Burning Crusade Classic. We wanted to balance the Paladin seals between Horde and Alliance, so we made an addition there. We wouldn't have gotten there without the community's input.
So, influence the community, you've got another update, and pretty significant controversial change for this.
Yeah, cross-faction play coming in 9.2.5. Which is on our public test realm now as a big centerpiece.
Cross-faction. Yep. You're breaking with a 17-year tradition.
Yeah, it's something. It was not an easily made decision by any means, and I think this is another one of those areas where really we try to take to heart community feedback and requests and ask ourselves as a team whether there's a way to accommodate such an earnestly held desire and still feel like we're being true to the roots of the game. I think players desire to play with their friends who might prefer a different faction, or to play with the faction that they more closely identify with, even though their raid group is elsewhere.
It's really important for me. I play a lot of alts, and I love absorbing the story for each race, and having that ability to play with all of my friends across factions is fantastic.
At the end of the day, the battle cry is for the Horde. It's not against the Alliance. It's not death to the Alliance. It's about pride in one's faction. And I think there's a way to preserve that and even strengthen that while giving players the ability to make the same choice we've seen the greatest heroes make time and time again.
I can't wait to do this. I'm seeing a lot of my friends that I never knew had a max level character in the other faction suddenly come out of the woodwork.
And then, with these cross-faction groups, many of them are going to be diving into something new that we're doing to kind of cap off Shadowlands, a Season 4. Kind of a remix of a bit of a greatest hits, revisiting all of our raid zones across the expansion, bringing in some familiar older favorites into the Mythic Plus rotation. And we recognize this is kind of a closing chapter, a little bit of a send-off to Shadowlands. As everyone gets ready for what happens next.
Am I reacting well, guys? Like, I'm doing my
a fun
best.
new challenge for everyone to sink their teeth into.
Really cool stuff for modern WoW players. I'm super excited about the gear upgrades that you're going to give me and the chance to go back and play some of those awesome raids.
There's a lot to explore. Very exciting.
For our next adventure in World of Warcraft,
That was a nice voice
we're
connect
going to
for
go
our
back to
next.
Azeroth. We're going to a space with high fantasy. I mean, our fans of Azeroth for a long time. This has been kind of the foundation of much of the lore of WoW.
Thank you for the 10 gifted
So,
subs,
without
Anonymous.
further
Thank
ado,
you, man. Thank
let's
you.
watch the cinematic.
No.
Ready for this?
We're going back in time, boys.
The world has been sundered. It cries out in pain. We must go to its aid. We entrust our ancestral home to you, the Watchers.
This looks badass, man.
Let the land slumber, hidden even from our own eyes. You will feel our return in the waking of the land. Then, you must light the beacon of Tearhold, lest the path home be lost to us forever.
Oh, fuck?
He fell asleep.
Do you understand anything?
I don't understand a single thing.
Yo, what's going on?
This is like the Avengers, bro.
This is literally
Infinity War.
Yeah.
No, dude.
Oh no, it's Tony Stark, bro.
Okay, dragons, boys.
The world is healing. But her fate is yet uncertain. Together, we shall be Azeroth's protectors once again. Here, the new age of dragons shall begin.
Okay, that trailer made 0 sense. At least for me. Okay, Dragonflight.
Bro.
The leaks were right. The leaks were right, bro. That made 0 sense.
You understand that if we play
Dragons.
Rat
This is
Trailer
so
right now, it's
cool.
gonna be like
No
10
one saw
times
it coming.
better.
No
I
one
know.
saw it coming.
Why?
Carefully kept secret. But seriously, I mean, what did we just see there?
The awakening of the Dragon Isles, the return of dragons, the dawn of a new age. Right, we've seen Rathian searching for his father's legacy, searching for the Dragon Isles. There's a reason why he hasn't been able to find them until now.
The beacon going off.
Because
is that
they
summoning
were
the
not
dragons?
even
It is
thought of
removing the
existing.
concealment
You
that
just
has hidden
made
the
them
Dragon
up
Isles
like
from
1
the
year
world,
ago.
but
Relax,
also beckoning the dragons.
That's why I
back
couldn't find them. They
urgently
didn't exist.
in a time of need.
I assume pretty good variety of locales within the Dragon Isles. It's
Yes, the Dragon Isles, as kind of standard for WoW expansion, consist of 5 zones, 4 standard leveling zones, and a new starter zone that we'll get to
This
in a
looks like
second.
Legion.
Can you talk a little bit about how the team found ways to thread the dragon aspects throughout the environments?
The Dragon Isles are a place that is lush and primal, bursting with elemental energy. As Azeroth herself reawakens, those primal forces are expressed throughout the environment, whether it's magma activity, volcanic activity, whether it's the icy wastes of the Azure Span. And each one of those has a connection to a Dragonflight that we've seen before.
Ever see the hills,
And it's
guys?
going to be an amazing place for players to arrive at and explore.
all right. You know I'm going to ask.
Yes, okay, so
Can I be a dragon?
let's start getting into some features here and what Dragonflight
Yeah, new
means
classes,
for you as well
hello?
as the place. So first off, yes, we have an all-new playable race, the Drakthir race.
Yeah.
This is a Draconid draconic
shit.
race, but dragons in Warcraft
Yo, that looks
have the
kinda
ability
sick.
to take on a humanoid form.
What classes can they be?
They have unique abilities as literally a dragon. That doesn't quite fit any of our existing classes.
So
And
it's gonna be a new
what
class.
we're doing is this is not just a new race, but it's also a new class. You know, adding a new race to World of Warcraft, and not just an allied race, is something that we don't do lightly. But telling this expansion, this story, so focused around dragons, felt like the perfect time for it. So if you are a Drakthir, you will be the Evoker class. Drakthir can only be Evokers, Evokers can only be Drakthir.
The
And
leak was
reason why
right.
only a
Did somebody
Drakthir can be
leak
an
that
Evoker
already?
Is that an Evoker is really combining
It's an
the
arcane
ability
mage.
to call upon the magic of the different aspects with the unique physical gifts.
And
that a
arcane mages
Drakthir
are gonna
has, the
lose, like,
ability to
certain
actually
abilities 'cause of
take
this
flight,
new
do
class.
a Nixia style, strafing deep breath
like
over
Demon-
the battlefield,
Demonology
land on
Warlock.
the other side,
Lost meta.
knock everyone back with
Yeah.
a wing buffet, and then unleash your magical abilities.
Yes, please.
The Evoker has 2 specializations. They're a hybrid of either
Only 2
ranged
specs,
DPS
'cause it's
or
too
hero.
hard to make 3
And they
specs
wear mail
nowadays.
armor. We figured, you know, with the new hero classes we've added over the years, we have enough melee. We don't need more of those, and also probably don't need any more leather wearers.
The raid leaders are going to love you for that.
Exactly. This is definitely a hero class, and so that means that, you know, like the Death Knights before them or Demon Hunters, they will be starting level 58, and then they're going to have a new starter zone. So they're going to have a slightly different journey into the Dragon Isles as opposed to the rest of us that are sailing there from other parts of Azeroth.
Can you talk a little bit about the customizations? Like what is going to be able to identify my Dragclear character?
Basically anything and everything. You know, skin color, hair color, jewelry, tattoos, other adornments. You can make this character the expression of your identity in Azeroth.
New zone.
I can play a dragon
new
now.
class.
Yep.
New race. Well, tell us about some of the system updates or features.
So, of course, the new expansion brings with it, you know,
Come
new
on,
systems,
Covenants,
new
boys.
features.
Give us Covenants
I think
again.
In recent expansions, one of the things we've tended to do is really have these deep features that were closely tied to a specific expansion that would then get left behind as we moved on. And we've heard loud and clear from players that, you know, it's kind of a bummer to start off every new expansion by leaving a large part of your character behind, by leaving a large part of your progression behind. So this time around, what we're doing is really pouring all of our energy
Oh god, no
into
wonder the
permanent
systems are
revamps,
shit. They're just
overhauls,
using
and
a
improvements
whiteboard,
to World of
bro.
Warcraft's core systems. Things like our progression systems, in this case, our talent system is something that we want to completely revamp. We want to take a look at our UI. We want to take a look at professions.
So with the talent revamp and the arrival of Classic, did you learn anything about how our talents work?
I think seeing a new generation of players play with those talents and work through those talent trees really underscored some of the things that, frankly, we lost when we shifted to
Old
the
talents coming back?
style
Please.
talents and beyond.
Please. Come
A
on.
big piece of that was just the granularity, the feeling of getting a
Well,
level
there
and
is style
spending a
talents. What the
point
fuck
to
is that?
customize your
Old
character
talents,
to make yourself
please.
a bit better in some specific way. But also, you know, that sense of hybridity that you could have. That's something that we've largely lost. And so the new talent system avoids directly
let's
pitting
go!
player power through
That's
choices
nice.
directly against
Look
those
at
sort of
that.
utility hybrid choices because
This is
that
good,
those
bro.
are the
This
right
is good.
outcome there.
This is a W.
And we also understand that
This is
there's
a
a
W,
lot of
bro.
strength in the flexibility of the modern talent system to let players customize their talents for a particular encounter or for
Nice,
dungeons
bro.
versus
Nice.
PvP, and we don't want to lose any of that.
So John, UI?
Oh my God. Yes, I got this 30-inch monitor, trying to keep track of
Why would
where
you
I'm
play
on the map,
WoW on
all
a
my
30-inch
buffs, and,
monitor, you
over
fucking
here,
boomer.
what's
You're
going
probably
on in
stuck in
chat.
the farm.
Playing
It's
it on a
literally made
bro,
my eyes
I have
go
a
like this.
49-inch monitor.
So-
Okay, relax.
You're not alone in that. We've made a lot of incremental changes and additions over the years, but really this is a revamp. This is an overhaul. And so we're excited to really modernize the look and feel while staying true to the origins of World of Warcraft. Now, at the same time, we're not looking to take away the sort of power user customization there. Add-ons are still there if you want them, but we want a much better default out-of-the-box experience for all players, new and old alike.
And can I reduce elements, remove elements? If I want to explore the world and see the beauty of Azeroth.
That's
When it
actually
comes
pretty
to
cool.
Specific elements, as much as possible, we want to let players choose what to show and what to hide so that they
That's
can
nice.
control it themselves.
You mentioned professions. I have a critical question about this.
Go on.
Can I wear a chef's hat?
Yeah, I knew it.
Our approach to professions in
So
Dragonflight
funny.
is really all about delivering on fantasy and identity as a crafter. And so if you want to be a serious blacksmith, if you want to be a great leather worker, we want to deliver the ability to invest time and energy into that, become a master crafter, be able to make items that are in demand, interact with the community. One of the big pieces that we want to do to support that is a new work order system to have a bit more convenience than just spamming trade chat all day. But if you are someone, you're not yourself a blacksmith, but you have a bunch of mats and you want them forged into a great sword, you can put that work order up, list your mats, offer a commission, and a skilled blacksmith can come along and make you the weapon of your dreams.
Unlike the
I think you
auction
left
house
out
or
one
what?
thing though. You can be a Dracthyr, go to Dragon Isles. Can I have a dragon?
What's the fantasy of dragons if not soaring over the lands? And so we're really excited to introduce a feature that we're calling Dragonriding. It's dynamic with everything from momentum to dive bombs, the ability to just sort of build that speed up and feel the world
This is
rushing
kinda cool,
past you
actually.
in a way that should be much more exciting than traditional flight that we've made available in the past, but that's also available for players
Yeah,
through
why not?
customizable dragon mounts. right
When
from
you
the
unlock
start.
flying, though,
So,
guys, you gotta wait until patch
This is a skill you
10.2
learn
to unlock
over
flying.
time, right,
Sorry.
to become an awesome dragon rider.
Yes, you'll be able to sort of upgrade aspects of your flight, but you will have this new form of flight from the start. And the Dragon Companion that you have is, of course, very thoroughly customizable, which is a new thing for us for
insane.
mounts. This is not just a generic dragon that everyone has, but a drake that is yours. what do you want its scales to look like, horns, the shape of its head, other attachments, armor pieces, and more.
Oh, okay.
Take your pick.
This is so cool.
So the Dragonflight expansion is going to see players leveling to 70, going to the all-new continent of the Dragon Isles.
He hasn't mentioned what the new system is, like garrisons and stuff,
zones, and a
covenants.
new starter zone for our
He hasn't said
Drakir
anything about
class,
that.
as well as a range of
but he
systems
said that they're
revamps,
moving away from
such
those
as a new
systems.
talent system, an overhaul and update to our UI, and an entirely fresh look at professions with more depth than ever before. Also getting around the Dragon Isles is going to come in the form of Dragonriding, which lets you customize and upgrade your own mount so that you can fly in a sense from the start. And of course, as with any new expansion, we have a new set of dungeons, a raid, and much more to come.
We also have an alpha that will be starting up in the future.
Check out our website for more information.
In 5
and
months.
keep an eye out for those opt-in signups if you want to help us test
Bro,
out
this
Dragonflight and give us even more
expansion
feedback
comes
to
out
make it
when
better.
ICC is
We do
out.
have a
and
deep
wrapped.
dive that follows this, so please stay around. Classic players, we haven't forgotten about you. You could probably guess where we're going to go next. One of the all-time favorite expansions for World of Warcraft.
Yo.
Let's watch the cinematic.
Yo, let's go, boys.
This is it, bro. This is it, bro.
Shit, dude.
Forgotten. Did you think we had just begun? Not my king yet.
Why'd you do this?
Will we get a date though?
My son, the day you were born, the very forests of Lordaeron whispered the name Arthas. When my days have come to an end, you shall be king.
Ooh, this year, boys. I thought it was 2023 for a second. I was like, what? It looked like a tree, dude.
It's just
Yeah, it looked like a
incredible,
3
isn't
in
it?
the
Yeah.
Every time I see the cinematic, I get chills. No pun intended, I
Nice.
get chills.
Nice. They
As
gave
you
us a
saw,
year.
Wrath of the Lich King Classic is coming this year. It brings back so many memories. When you see that cinematic, what do you remember from Wrath of the Lich King?
Anytime you want to talk about undead frozen dragons, how can you not go back to Sindragosa as the source? That was the first expansion I played with my youngest son.
Yeah, it's probably like
So
November,
I can remember
October, maybe.
On that platform, black
Relax,
goo and chunks of ice falling off and having to repeat that battle with the Lich King. But when we finally downed him, it was such an incredible moment. He jumped up out of his room and I jumped up out of my office. We're like, yeah, did it. So it's a very lasting tale for me.
So as you know, with this expansion, you will, in pre-patch, be able to play the Death Knight. They will start at level 55. You don't have to have a high-level character to make a Death Knight, so everyone will be able to make one.
We're
Oh,
excited to give players
You
some
don't need to
time
be high
before
level.
Wrath officially launches to get geared up and ready to jump into Northrend with everybody else.
And there are so many zones and areas to explore in Northrend, and I want us to talk about some of our favorites. So for me, Grizzly Hills has a very
what?
special place in my heart. The music was some of the best I've experienced in World of Warcraft.
I still make my way all the way up to Storm Peaks to try and find the time-lost Protodrake and have yet to get it.
I've got to say Dragonblight. The wide open nature of the zone, Wormrest Temple in the center of it, it's an unforgettable expansion as both a developer and a player and kind of making that transition from one to the other.
Now let's talk about some changes. So one thing we looked at is Dungeon Finder, and it feels like how we envision Classic, Dungeon Finder is not a good fit for our community.
That was kind of the first step that may have eroded
What?
some of that social fabric. Now,
That's
as
good, bro.
people have gone through the experience of going back to vanilla, rebuilding those groups, relying on each other, not wanting necessarily a random participant just to show up and then leave.
Yep.
Yeah, that makes total sense.
But today, you can do that in Shadowlands. You'll be able to do that in Dragonflight. It's a self-selected group of people who specifically want that different experience.
Yes.
Let's make sure that's what we continue to give them.
that leads right into arena teams in Burning Crusade
There's
Classic.
no dungeon
So
fighter,
we
bro?
listen to the community and we
That's good.
remove that because individual
I
rating
don't know about
is
that, bro. I don't think
preferable,
that's
better
Otherwise, on
experience for
launch, you
them
would be
than
doing
arena
Dungeon
teams.
Fighter, bro.
Also, with Wrath of the Lich King, Barbershop, which allows you to customize your character.
I guess we
We're
keep
going to
using
be
LFG
adding a
add-on,
few more
boys.
options that were not existing when
Just means
Wrath
use an
launched.
add-on, that's
but
it.
also there's another side of this where we are not going to charge a real money fee. It was a paid character customization fee, right?
Yeah.
It seems the right thing to do that just be available in game for gold and we add more options to it, right?
What?
It's sort of like spell batching in a sense. There's a lot of technical advancements, and it's not about the philosophy of what makes Classic classic and what brings people together. It's just what's the better experience, and let's not artificially restrict something that we can provide a better version of just for the sake of nostalgia. And we're happy to say this is one of those cases.
So, Wrath, the level cap's being increased to level 80, so we'll be introducing a level 70 boost so that players who want to get in with their friends or just explore
70
Northrend
boost.
right away will be able to do that. You can't apply it to a Death Knight, but you will be able to use it otherwise. And of course, we have
Shameless.
Inscription, a whole new profession, so we're really excited about that. Yeah, and as we continue this road to Wrath, we're going to be looking to getting a lot more feedback on beta, and we'll make changes as we need to.
Such an exciting time to be playing World of Warcraft. We have the return of the Wrath of the Lich King for classic fans and taking us somewhere new with Dragonflight. We're so excited to be able to bring these adventures to you. Don't forget, there's a deep dive on Dragonflight where you're going to get a lot more information. Thank you so much for spending this time with us, and we'll see you in Azeroth.
And we'll see you in Northrend.
See
And
you
in the
in
Dragon
Ulduar.
Isles.
See you in Dragon Isles in 2 years. Dude, I think Dragon Isles is really far away. Like, they barely showed anything.